Hello, sellers. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling on eBay. Come on in. I just got back from the huge Salvation Army store that's here in Manhattan. It's the largest Salvation Army in Manhattan. There might be a bigger one out in the boroughs, but it's the biggest one in Manhattan. It's very large, and I always get lots of great items there and learn lots. So I'm here to share tips for you, specifically about thrifting and to move you outside the box. So these are two overlooked eBay categories that can bring in a lot of money, and they're not heavily saturated categories, because that's the big thing with eBay. Because on eBay you can sell soup to nuts, which is great. Um, and because of many YouTubers and other social media people, which we love, um, what can happen is that sellers gravitate to certain categories. It could be because they're very much promoted by people on social media. It can be because they're easily accessible for a lot of sellers. Um, but certain categories get really heavily saturated. When that happens, so you'll watch a YouTube or you'll watch a TikTok, and you'll get great tips. But take a look at what you're watching, because if it has like 30,000 views, 50,000 views, that means a lot of people are watching the same tips as you are. And that means they're going to be looking for the inventory that you are. And that means they're going to be buying the inventory that you are, and they're going to be selling the inventory that you are. And that means you have an enormous amount of competition. Typically, right now, from what I can see, is clothing, and people will complain. Again, you'll be on social media groups and you'll be all over, and people are complaining, oh, my sales are slow, my sales are down, this is so hard. If you're a seller that's been selling on eBay for a while, and I've seen this, I see this regularly, oh, I sold this category, I sold these items 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, and I used to make X amount of money, 20,000 a year, 50,000 a year, whatever. And it's just sitting there. I can't give it away. It's like, what is going on? And they will blame it on eBay. And what's going on is there's a lot of other people that are selling it too. And not only are there a lot of other people on eBay selling it, so I'm going to pick on clothing. Um, it is on the other apps. So clothing is on Poshmark. Clothing is on Depop. Clothing is on the other sites, and it makes it harder and harder for you to be selling it. So this is my suggestion for you is, yes, continue to sell clothing because it is absolutely great. It's a wonderful category. But really look at sourcing things that are a little more unusual, sourcing things that are very distinctive pattern, something that can really help you stand out. And the other thing with when you're sourcing clothing is really pay attention to the clothing sizes, because that's going to matter a lot. But I'm going to give you two categories that are overlooked, that aren't as saturated as clothing. And particularly one of them that you can sell on multiple sites. But again, because people tend to, especially when they're starting to sell, they're pulling things out of their closet, and I get it. So they're pulling things out of their closet and their kid's closet and their partner's closet. And all of us have clothing, and all of us know our clothing. We know the size, we know the styles, we know the brand. So it is a very natural thing to dive into. But it is extremely competitive, and it can get really hard. And my word to you is it's only going to get harder. So I encourage you to branch out, even when you're first starting to sell. Branch out. And even when you're looking at your own possessions, you may overlook some of these. So I'm here to help you with this. And the first one is media. And hang on just a second. The first one is media. And when you're looking at media, what I'm going to suggest that you do is, and if you see black behind me, it's my chair. It's because I work with a green screen, so it goes in and out. So just be patient with me. Media. Now, for my younger sellers, and I'm younger, I'm going to say my under 40 sellers, you might be going, media? I mean, like everybody streams. A lot of people do stream, and the streaming apps are very popular. So I totally get it on that. However, yes, CDs sell. And yes, DVDs sell. And one of my favorite categories with DVDs, and so again, the great thing with DVDs and with CDs, if you don't do this with your phone, which I do when I'm at thrift stores, I think years ago we were all hiding that we're resellers. Now I'm very much out in the open. I mean, I don't wear eBay t-shirts when I go to the Salvation Army. I don't wear eBay hats when I go to the Salvation Army, but I take pictures of things and I upload it, and I look on Google Lens, and I search on eBay, and I search on Poshmark. And I see other people doing the same thing. So it's like, hey, we sort of smile at each other and nod. Um, but media, it's very, very, very easy to research. You can scan the barcodes. eBay has a barcode scanner. Amazon has a barcode scanner. Is you can scan the barcode and take a look at it and see how it sells. Now, this is a word of caution on this. So I was at the Salvation Army, and I love fitness DVDs. Okay, so when I'm in media, um, I'm looking for unusual fitness DVDs. I'll also look at movies and TV shows and things like that. A word on the fitness DVDs, if they're very, very common, like a Denise Austin, that kind of thing, they're only going to go for like $3 or $4. So unless they're giving them away for free, I pretty much walk away from those. But again, if they're giving away for free, you can put them into bundles and make money that way. But when I go, I'm looking for unusual fitness DVDs. And this is what I find with media. So what I'm looking for is, and I'm in New York City, so we get some really good, unusual fitness DVDs, is I'm looking for things like ballet exercises, put out things for things like the New York City Ballet, that kind of thing. I'm looking for bar exercise. I'm also looking for kettlebell. When Zumba was really hot, you keep an eye out for Zumba. So that's the other thing, is if you can stay on top of what the fitness trends are. But I'm looking for more unusual. So I'm scanning through and I'm looking for things like physical therapy DVDs are very good, okay, when they're put out by doctors or whatever. But things that are very, very, very niche. And again, I will take a picture and I will search it on eBay. I'll also use product research. So remember, Terapeak product research is on the app because you can go back 3 years. Because if it's a very niche DVD, there's a good chance it may not be on eBay, but it's sold 2 years ago. Also check it on Amazon, because Amazon will have some of the niche fitness DVDs. So look, okay. And if it's cheap enough and you can't find it, it's like, oh, what the heck? It's $1. I'll take I'll go with this. But I have found if you stick to the niche fitness DVDs, and again, like physical therapy ones, ballet bar ones, again, kettlebells, that was really in for a while. People still do kettlebells, I find. Sometimes martial arts. Again, it's looking at some yoga. Again, very, very niche, not the mainstream, okay? Not the people that we know. It's very sort of like studio ones. I've sold them $30, $40, again, because they're very, very niche. They're very, very specialized. They may have been like a limited edition or only for a really specific time, or you had to attend this class to get it. So keep an eye out for that. And they're all over. So it's not just New York City. It's going to be other metro areas, but it could be, the garage sale that you go to could have it because the person, who's running the garage sale or the neighborhood garage sale, they're really into that fitness genre, or they have a family member that's really into that fitness genre. So look for the niche, unusual fitness DVDs. And the other thing with media, if you don't do this, is yes, look at the case and you flip it over. Always remember to open the case and look and make sure that the DVD that is described on the cover is inside, that it's not a different one. Because owners, they put a different DVD back in it, or they might put a CD in it. They know always put the right DVD back in the right case. So always double check. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. So look for your niche fitness DVDs. That's my first tip. They are going to be more long tail. Every now and then it sells like that. It's like, whoa, because the person has a saved search because they're looking for that, which you have no idea if they are. But typically 3 months, 4 months. But again, I'm buying something for $1 or $2 that flips for $30, $40. And it's a DVD, which is so easy to ship. I mean, they're so easy to ship that I'm fine about that. So that's my first category for you, is media, but go niche and go unusual. Don't look for the mainstream. Okay. Second tip, and this is good for my thrift stores, again, my big Salvation Armies, but it's also good for Goodwills. It's also good for flea markets, and it's also good for yard sales. And it's also good for days where people put appliances out. So here in New York City, we have recycle days where people put appliances out. You cannot just put appliances out in New York City for any trash pickup. It can only go out certain days. Just like at Christmas time, there's like the Christmas tree week, And that is the week you can put your tree out by the curb and they pick them up. They actually chip them for the parks, which I think is great. But with the large appliances, so with the refrigerators and with the stoves and that kind of thing, they can only go out certain days of the month. And I bet that your municipality has similar rules. And if you're taking things to the dump, I'm sure there are rules on that too. This is the great thing. So this is my bonus tip for you is find out what those days are and walk your neighborhood or drive your neighborhood. Here in the city, I'm walking my neighborhood. Now, obviously, I'm not picking up a stove and I am not picking up a refrigerator and carrying it home, right? But it's the knobs, it's the racks, it's all the doodads that go with your refrigerator, with your stove, okay? The great thing about them, and also when people put microwaves out, this is really helpful for the microwave turntables and anything like that, is you've got the make and model number right there. So I'll take a picture of the make and model number with my phone, and then I take the knobs or I take the racks, whatever it is, that I can strip off of it and take home. Always double check and make sure it sells. So immediately I hop on eBay very quickly because that's where I'm going to be selling it. I'm not going to be selling it on Facebook Marketplace or any place. And check that the parts, the knobs, the racks are in demand. I've always found ones that have. Same thing with the microwaves, but always double check because it's not worth it to pull it out and carry it home if it's not going to have decent resale value. And it's because the knob falls off. The knob gets melted somehow. You put something hot on it. All kinds of things can happen to people's appliances, and all they want is the knob. All they want is the rack. And they'd much rather buy it on eBay from you. And something like the knobs on stoves, 6 ounces, 8 ounces. I mean, it's very light. I always bubble wrap it because I don't want it to crack. So not a lot for postage, very easy to ship. I'm into easy shipping. And it's not costing you anything. And you're saving it from the landfill because all those parts are having to be recycled. And instead of them going into the landfill or however they're ethically recycling it, it's going into your bag. I always carry big IKEA bags and I'm throwing the knobs and everything in there and you sell it. And even if it's selling for like $20 free shipping, I didn't pay for it. It was free for me. What the heck, right? And again, I'm saving it from the landfill. So look for the recycling days in your neighborhood for appliances and then go around and strip the knobs and parts off the appliances. Again, double checking that they do have resale value. When you're at the Salvation Armies and the Goodwills, again, along the lines of parts. So my Salvation Army, there's a lot of the electric coffee pots and the pod coffee pots. Now, sadly, sometimes either it's when people are donating them, they're stripping parts off, or sadly, when people are at the store, they're stripping parts off and throwing them in their bags. But many times, particularly like with the cappuccino machines, espresso machines, coffee espresso machines, there's frother attachments. There's on the capsule machines, there's a thing that goes on the back. Typically, I have an espresso where the pods go. And that can break or get lost or get cracked. There's a little stand where the coffee cup stands underneath where the coffee comes out. That can crack, that can break. So I will buy the coffee machines. I've done this several times. So again, the Nespresso machine, I'm going to pick that one, but the Krups machine, there's a bunch of them, the pod machines, the Keurigs. You'll go online, and even a brand new one, they don't sell for that much, and they're not light. It's going to be 10 or 15 pounds. So in my experience, it's not worth it unless you're getting one brand new in the box for El Cheapo, like a gift and you don't need it. So it's like, okay, great. I'll sell it on eBay. But I buy them. I've bought several of the Nespresso machines and I strip them for parts because the machine itself is only costing me, let's say $5. But again, the parts, all the parts to the machine separated out sell. And they'll sell for $25. They'll sell for $30. They'll sell for $35. So the machine itself, if I'm getting for $5, if I've got 3 or 4 parts that are selling for 30 and change, I've double, tripled my money. And again, they're much easier. All the various parts are very easy to ship for the most part, as opposed to shipping the entire machine, which is not so easy to ship. So I'll strip the parts off. And then oftentimes I'll donate the strip machine back because, again, the people that'll get them for the motors, for the parts, that kind of thing. So consider that. Okay. So again, we're thinking outside the box. Why? Because clothing is highly saturated. Yes, it's great to buy clothing. You come across like the greatest deal, the greatest price, the greatest brand, the greatest style, the greatest color. It's great, but it is an extremely saturated category. Okay. So, as much as it's great to be sourcing clothing and selling clothing, it's always good to be thinking outside the box and adding other categories that are lucrative. Also, categories that are not expensive to go into, that are not going to tie up a lot of your money. Media, and you're looking for unusual, you're looking for niche CDs and DVDs. For me, with the DVDs, I really like to look for niche fitness DVDs. Again, they're not going to flip fast, right? It's not like selling an Apple Watch or something. Typically around 4 or 5 months, but the value tends to be quite high. For the investment of a buck or two, these flip for like 25, 30, $35. So keep an eye out for niche fitness DVDs. Okay. And you might find some other really cool niche DVD. And if you do, let me know. And there are some great vintage VHS. So don't overlook the VHS. Um, I I haven't found that here in the city. I haven't been able to find that. For me, I've been able to find the fitness DVDs. But if you've got some great niche VHS, let me know about that. Okay. And then recycling day in your neighborhood. So that's like my bonus tip. So tip one, keep an eye out for media when you're in the thrift stores, and also when you're at the flea markets and when you're at consignment stores, yard sales. Keep an eye out for media. Recycling day, keep an eye out for stripping parts off large appliances and reselling them on eBay. And along that line, back to when you're in the thrift stores and also back when you're at the yard sales, is don't overlook the coffee machines. Again, there's so many of them. They're out there. There's so many brands. There's the smaller ones, there's the bigger ones, but it's the parts oftentimes is where you'll make your money. So it's funny, like the machine itself used, like will sell for like 30 plus shipping, right? Which may not be that great. Plus they're heavier, plus they're harder to ship. But if you strip out the parts, you actually make more money, right? Because you're selling it for 30, you maybe bought it for 5, and then you're charging for shipping, and you got to box it and you got to bubble it, and it's work. And if you strip the parts out, much easier because they're small, right? And you'll make more money than the 30 because you're separating out all the parts. Okay. So niche DVDs, keep an eye out for recycling for your appliances. And when you come across things like the coffee makers, just quickly go over and just go, what does the frother sell for? Quickly price everything and see if it's worth it. Okay. Again, we're going into the holidays right now. This is December 2025. Christmas is right around the corner. Hanukkah's even closer. But people are still shopping, and they're shopping on eBay. So this is still a perfect time. Is like, do not give up on your holiday sales. Now more than ever, it's the perfect time to press in. And I've got a free tip sheet for you. It's the eBay seller slay list, Christmas tips that sell. And this will help you sell for the next couple of weeks so that you get lots and lots of sales this month and welcome in many shoppers to you. The tips that I'm sharing work whether you have a store or don't have a store. So do grab it. It's free. It's on my website. I love to be selling. Okay. So enjoy. And I'm wishing you the best holiday sales season ever. Follow me for more great tips here on my Facebook business page, also on YouTube and my podcast. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling on eBay. Bye-bye, sellers.